Good evening, Buck fans. I hope you guys are doing all right. Happy Tuesday. I hope your Christmas was well. We got a lot of things to discuss tonight. We got to talk about the wonderful gift that the Buccaneers delivered for us, which was that W. So stay tuned. What's up, everybody? What's up? Welcome. Welcome again to the Aftermath on 102.9 Game Broad Street South Radio. It's your boy, AJ Turner. How you doing? We got Coach Slick here, aka the British guy who's always flying on standby. And as always, you need to be sure to let's get this guy Slick. Coach Slick, the man in the internship. We got to put him on again. Look at It's About Bucking Time. Let's give Coach Slick an opportunity. The resume is there. Go look for it yourself. Only 2 minutes and 27 seconds of information that is valuable. And again, we give this man his flowers. How you doing?
I'm feeling good, man. That was another dominant performance, even more dominant than I'd say the Green Bay one, which is, this is the first team that we beat that's got a winning record. I think this was the game that me and you have been talking about. Not this one in particular, but this is the game we've been searching for. The Buccaneers playing out of their skin and dominating somebody all the way from start to finish. And none of this purple patches and playing quietly. We are playing lethal football. We're not letting anybody in. Loved it, loved it, loved it.
Perfect example, lethal and aggressive. The Buccaneers, actually, it seems as if they have possibly turned a corner. We've seen things this game that was on another level. Bowles going for fourth downs early and in the middle of the field.
Trust.
I was so happy and shocked. I said, whoa, wait a minute. What is going on here? Bowles has finally found it. He just got that intensity and just got that itch. And the one thing that I hope Bowles learned from this is that this is why earlier people like you, me, and other people, Buck fans out there, we were saying, you have the team to do it. You have the offensive weapons to be aggressive. We've stated earlier from before the season even started, just be average offense, and you see what they're doing. Mm-hmm. Look at it. They didn't even, I think, take a punt into the third quarter. This is what we were praying about. Now, now that run game can get established. Now defenses have to fear both attacks from the Bucs because Rashad White has improved. We saw a lot of things today. Again, now one of the biggest things that I want to get out the way, I want to show you something right quick, Slick. You ready?
Go on, give it to me.
That's what happens. That is exactly what that is. And for all, and I'm going to keep that up for a second because I want to get this loud and clear. I want to make this clear. I don't want to hear Buck fans and Buck Nation, and for people who love the game of football, we do not want to hear the bullshit excuses that Trevor was hurt. We do not want to hear that that's why he looks shooken. We do not want to hear his ankle injury had anything to do with it. What we want to hear is that the Bucs put him in that position. Look at him right there. Because first of all, if he was not able to play, the Jaguars had no business suiting him up. So we don't want to hear that bullshit excuse. The Bucs made the Jags look bad. Slick just told you we beat a team with a winning record. And this was the team that despite them spiraling, we still beat a good team. This team, this Buccaneers team, put Trevor Lawrence on his ass. And that is simple as that. I don't want to hear, he just got out of concussion protocol. We don't want to hear that.
He got out of concussion, but he was cleared to play. Apparently, played fine. All those good things. I don't think he played it as himself. I think he played in a shell of himself. And could the concussion have played into it? Potentially. But the end of the day he was cleared to play. Now, maybe they got those Miami doctors and they can do some wonderful things out there. But, and I did have an argument with someone over this, and I was like, no, they're like, well, the concussion, his medical team's cleared him to play. I was like, what? Like Miami cleared Tua to play. And they were like, what are you talking about Tua for? He's not concussed. I'm like, last year, you fucking doofus. But that was last year, and I'm like, oh my god, if it's gone over your head, I got to stop.
It did. Maybe he was concussed. I agree 100%, Slick, because that is the issue. CJ Sprout is still out. So don't give me this shit about, well, concussions are different. No, wait a minute. You take all kind of concussions serious, no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, in the UK, our concussion, obviously, everyone has a different.
Mm-hmm.
The NFL has permanent medical staff to do this, and I think that's how they're able to get away with a little bit here and shorten those times. Mm-hmm. But over here, if he got concussed on a Sunday, he probably wouldn't be able to be eligible to play until the next Monday. So that'll be the Monday after the surgery. You've got to go 7 days concussion symptom free. So let's say you've been diagnosed with a concussion, which means you have got concussion symptoms at that point. Monday, you come in to work. Do you have concussion symptoms? No. Okay. The last time you had a concussion check was Sunday. So we're going from Sunday. The next time you'll be eligible to play would be Monday. So you can take part in Monday's practice or what have you. And there are gradual steps to this.
Yep.
So there's the levels of concussion. But you've got to be completely concussion symptom free at that point. Now, as is a baseline, it's a semi-pro amateur sport, whatever you want to call it. But you have to still have a level of guideline in.
Yep.
So there are rules to this, and I think sometimes having a one size fits all approach, in this case for concussions, which is a really big thing in the NFL, a really big thing in contact and collision-based sports, is probably best just to adopt. Everyone do the same shit, because once you have doctors can be paid, doctors can be coerced, doctors can believe different things, have different variants of opinions, and we know this because one guy goes and has he gets told by one doctor he needs surgery, and then another doctor says you don't need surgery at all, dude. You just need to take this course of medication, and you'll be right as rain. One of those doctors was wrong.
Yes.
Or arguably, neither are wrong, but both believed in their path, and what I'm saying, that the path of the right medicine that they think would work. This is the point when it gets to medicine. We're talking about unknowns, and the brain is a relatively unknown, untapped piece of information. We don't know too much about. We don't know a heck of a lot about it. Hence, why concussion protocols are constantly changing. And I think a one-size-fits-all approach probably works. Probably didn't work for the Jags. It wouldn't have worked for the Jags because I wouldn't have played him.
I wouldn't have played him either. Agree 100%. And you can't be desperate.
Livelihoods, man.
You have to put the player. And this is the quarterback, most important position, because let's say if
you got to think.
Yes, you got to think, and he has to react. Now, let's say if that shit right here, this hit right here again made him even worse. Now you're setting your quarterback back some more, and you're setting the franchise back.
It's not just that you're attacking the long-term health of him as well as a human being.
These people got to function all out of football. Now, another reason why I say that, it's all about narratives down here, Slick. Let's say if Trevor would have beaten the Bucs, now all of a sudden it'd have been how tough he is and how he is a machine, and nobody wants to hear that shit. It's because the media, a lot of media people thought when Trevor emerging that the Bucs were just gonna lay down and be beaten. And this is why I can't say for the most part of the game, as you would always say, Slick, guys, if I'm complaining about the Bucs in our chat, he hears about it. Slick hears.
Oh yeah. I was like, I said to my wife, I was watching the game, and I was like, when the Buccaneers are playing, she went, how? And I went, AJ hasn't messaged shit. 2 weeks in a row, buddy. That's 2 weeks in a row.
I know, and that's the beautiful thing. But Bowles early, I will give him this. He was aggressive with the blitzing, with keeping them in their faces. Devin White with that interception, that was the Devin White that we always expected. And in a way, I feel like maybe Bowles lit a fire under his ass.
I love seeing Devin White, and I want to kudos to you, dude. But I don't think it'll be enough.
Yes,
just because he literally ruled KJ Britt. KJ Britt was supposed to be certain situations. There was no situations. Every situation was pretty much Devin White. So and rightfully so. He played his skin out, and that's what you want to see. But it's like it's no good showing us this in flashes. We need to see this consistent. And I love Devin White as a personality because I do think he brings a level of kind of fuck you to the team. Like how he is with other teams and stuff, and I like that about him. But the problem is he's very much a believer in his own hype. I'm not saying he's talented because he's not talented, because he clearly fucking is. It's just he plays like he's a personality, hot and cold.
Yes,
hot and cold. When he, like I've said, when he blitzes, I had an argument with someone the other day about this. People keep saying he should be an edge rusher. I've got no problem with him becoming an edge rusher, but this is something that should have been established in pre-season, not in the middle of a fucking season that we're trying to win, the NFC South. I don't want to do that fucking experiment. And there's a huge difference between blitz and they're like, oh yeah, but he's really this comes up. And I was like, what, can you just give me your logic on why you think he should be there? And he's like, well, he blitzes very well. Like, there's a big difference blitzing between through gaps that have been created by Vita Vea, Kalijah Kancey, and Greg Gaines.
Yeah.
Or whichever defensive group lineman we've got in front of us. That's much different to going one-on-one against an offensive tackle time and time again.
Yep.
I'm not saying he can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's different. It's just different, and I want to see if they're going to do that. You got to do that in preseason and play with it and tinker with it. You can't do that right now. It's just not worth it, unless like KJ Britt's playing out of his skin. It's like, who do you take out? Can't take out Yada Diaby because we're going to talk about him in a minute because he's getting lofty ambitions right now. The NFL rookie sack leader right now, as he is. Could be a dark horse to go and steal the defensive rookie MVP.
I agree. We'll get to him in a second, but you're right about with the Devin situation. It's a little different when also you have to realize what makes Devin a little special in those blitzes that a lot of teams are not prepared for that. Like you guys, you got to remember, once they start preparing, that's a whole different ball game. And we don't know if Devin is the type where he can because as Slick just said, not only does he have to worry about offensive linemen, which will tire him out, but there are good running backs out there that can block as well. And if you have a blitz that gets picked up, that can be devastating. We were just fortunate.
He's been picked up on a blitz by a running back and put on his ass.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
So did it to him a couple of times. So
absolutely. And that's why we're happy that, Devin, for all we know, hey, Devin, I hope you play good enough to win. Well. Yeah, you get another contract. Maybe Bowles and some of the coaching staff said, hey, look, right now, the way that you're behaving to and you're playing, you really think you're going to get a big contract anywhere else? You better come and show up and play. And he did, but he wasn't the only one. A lot of people said, AJ, are you sure I said McCollum had a solid game. Yes. Did he get beat? He got beaten garbage time. But when it mattered, McCollum actually did his job. When Carlton Davis went down, people said, are you worried? I said, no, because Izzian is doing a great job too. That's another person that we don't talk about enough.
I think he's just been a bit more quieter, but he's doing the job that he needs to do, right? He's still doing his thing. And
that's right.
The limitation of what they got with the safeties right now, and to consider him, we lost 2 players to concussion protocol, probably just after the half, in a safety and a cornerback. I think the defensive secondary looked fine. And like you said, it's garbage time. They're going to play a bit more preventive coverage. Players might take their foot off the gas a little bit. And it's a natural thing. Obviously, we want to win. We want to win that game. But when it mattered, they couldn't beat us. They couldn't do anything. Their 2-point conversions were dog shit. Everything they did was just not good enough.
Yes, and I just loved it because, first of all, Calvin Ridley came from the Falcons, and he thought he was doing something, but it was like it was over. Also, I'm sorry to say this, but Winfield is the best safety in the damn league. Put some respect on him. He should be at least considered in Defensive Player of the Year category. The guy was everywhere.
Safety position, but we'll get into that as well.
Well, he's a
I've got what the headlines of coming into this game once we finish with the game.
Game changer. This guy does everything. Every damn 5 seconds, Slick. I just was like, oh, that's Winfield. There's Winfield. Winfield's there.
He's like the Levante David at safety.
Oh, guys, say that again, Slick. That was
Levante David at safety. He's Levante David at safety.
I love it, and
you know the types of play. He just appears. Yes. I'll go through his stats. I've got some stuff written down here that I want to go through and talk about some of the stories leading into this Week 17 game matchup against the Saints. So I've got some other stuff coming. What else you want to talk about of this game?
Oh, the biggest thing that I want to talk about that I love that I'm seeing with this Bucs offense. Slick, we've been talking about this forever. I stated earlier, I just want to see Canales get this passing going. And there's been such a major difference. Yes, there's such a major difference now. The pass is setting up so many plays. The first play we came out throwing the ball, I said, "Oh yes, we want this shit." The next play when Godwin is a monster in that slot. There's a play that he catches when the corner, bless his heart, tried to jam him. Godwin just said, "Get that shit out my way," and just that is what I'm talking about. And the run game was mid today, yesterday, but on Sunday, but it didn't matter because the passing was so devastating. Mm-hmm. And first of all, why the Jags are silly as hell. They have some balls. You gonna play Evans in man? Okay.
Yeah.
You want to play Mike Evans in man? That first touchdown he had, that was an insult to heaven.
Do you know why I think the Buccaneers offense thrived? And this is something that they said in the broadcast. I'm gonna have to look up a little bit more about this, but they said that the defensive coordinator for the Jags is a long-term disciple of Coach Bowles.
Oh.
Same scheme, same everything. So I'm just gonna have a quick look at it now, just to make sure I'm gonna get some like real life notes. But that was said in the broadcast, and I thought to myself, what defense does this Buccaneers team go up against every single day? Todd Bowles one.
Mm-hmm.
So going up against a guy who has the same philosophies, the same kind of ideas, this whole like package deal that they have going on, this team knew how to beat a Todd Bowles defense because they'd probably done it every week in practice.
Yeah.
So they know the weaknesses and the difference in scheme. And of course, they don't have the Buccaneers playmakers in comparison. I mean, they've got a very good pass rusher. Their defensive line was decent. They did harass us a little bit. They just couldn't get home.
Exactly.
But their defensive line was better than average, better than I expected.
I agree.
Their pass rush.
I agree. Well, you know what? While you're bringing up those stats, let's bring another buddy of ours on here because he's been waiting patiently, and you know he wants to say some things too. We got to get our own Bucs Live. Rick Hughes in the house. Rick Hughes, let's get him in.
Hey. Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas. I like it. I like it. So, did you enjoy the Bucs giving you a good gift, a W?
Oh, you know I did. You know that was great. Listen, you know, on what you were saying with their defensive scheme and all that, they were 31st against the run, right? And they know we like to run. So what did they do? They jammed everybody up in the box and said, I dare Baker Mayfield to beat us. So he did. And it was, I mean, it was really that simple. I mean, they sold out. It's the exact opposite of what the Falcons did. The Falcons said, we're going to play deep. We're going to dare you to run. And we did. And then they did the exact opposite. They pulled everybody up in the box. They said, we dare Baker to beat us. And we did. This poses a very interesting dilemma moving forward for teams. What are they going to do? I mean, what do you pick a poison? I mean,
that's exactly what I like that you said that the Jags were screwed either way, because as you just said, oh yeah, you want Baker to beat you, he can beat you because he has Evans, Godwin. It's like we were just saying it earlier, Rick. Did you see in the first drive when the poor corner thought he was going to jam Godwin and Godwin blew the Jags were screwed either way. But I do agree with what you said. That's very good detail. They did load the box a lot more than what I normally am used to. And you're right. They basically said Baker can't do what he did like he did in Green Bay. And Baker said, okay.
And I think they knew they were in trouble. And to be honest with you, I think they knew they were in trouble. The team is coming apart at the seams. They know this. This is not something we're seeing. Like,
I wouldn't be surprised if they downward spiraled.
Right. They knew. They see the problems. They know their injuries. They're a lot smarter than we are. And you know, they I believe knew that they had difficulties. The shock to me, and you guys brought it up, is Devin White. Props, dude. He stepped up. Now, do I want to pay the guy a lot of money? No, he's a head case. He's a head case, and you got to manage his whole whatever those gears are spinning in there, and that maybe takes a lot of work. I don't know if he plays like that every week. Maybe it's worth it, but he doesn't, and that's where the problem comes in. If we could get that Devin White every week, I'm all about it. All about it. Pay him whatever. I don't care. but you're not going to get that Devin White every week. If you pay him that much, he's again going to have the overconfident, cocky, whatever thing. And KJ Britt, we can keep playing at a very high level with KJ Britt and put the money elsewhere. But I don't want to get into that. I'm happy he played the game he played. I mean, I am. I'm thrilled he played the game that he played. We're on a 4 freaking game winning streak, right?
Yes, sir.
We got a couple left. It's very possible we're going to win the last 6 games. I don't even know what's the line in this game.
I think
we gotta be favored.
We're favored by 3, I think, because
we're favored hitting this game. You know we're going to be favored in the Panthers game.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're right now looking like we are heading to either 9-8 or 10-7, which I think 10-7 at the beginning of the year, huh?
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah.
I had us down as an 11-win team at best.
Yeah, you did. I remember you said that, Slick. I was going on the optimist side. I said between 10 to 12, and I said maybe 13, but I'm glad that I went back to your logic and said, you know what, Slick might be onto something. 13,
I still can't believe we might run the table here. And if that's the case, remember all the conversations about, well, I don't want to go in the playoffs and get our butt kicked. I don't want to go do the same thing.
It's all going to come back.
And all I can say is this, there's not one team. I'm including the 49ers. I'm including the Eagles. I'm including the Cowboys. I'm including the Detroit Lions. There's not one team out there who's going, oh, yeah, let's play the Bucs. Oh, every one of them is going, what's going on down there?
You are 100% on it. And I had to go back and, guys, I had to do some research because when I went back and looked at certain scores, Rick had a point where he said the Bucs are not as bad when they're losses as a lot of people think.
Right.
If you go back,
really like if you look at it, and I wanted to cover this as well, but AJ, finish what your thought because I know you've got to get.
Because I understand what Rick was saying because about the bowl situation. I think I was more frustrated with that because you had a point. If Bowles just did certain things different, we would win a few of those games. Against the 49ers, I told people this too, but you did have a point. That game was not out of reach as most people thought it was.
Right.
We only
Buccaneers haven't been blown out this year. We have not had a bit. I think that was probably the worst game we played, like from a deficit point of view.
No, the worst game we lost by was the Eagles, and that wasn't by much. We've lost by nothing more than 15 points.
What did and here's a question. Here's a thing to add to that to piggyback off. What did the Lions do the year before? They were close, they were competitive, but they just didn't always get the job done. Everyone's like, I love how this team's fighting. But this team, people are used to the success because of the Tom Brady era. They don't want to hear we're only 3 points away consistently. Right. They want to hear we should be beating these teams on a regular basis. Now,
this is not the same era. We don't have AB. We don't have Gronkowski. We don't have Fournette. We don't have, which I'll take White, thank you. We don't have Tom Brady. We don't have those guys.
We don't have Jensen. We don't. Yeah.
But I got a little taster for you, boys.
Yes, sir.
I did a little bit of research myself because time's a bit quiet at work these days. So I thought, should be a minute on live stream, but I'm hoping nobody watches from my workplace. But either way, I had a little in my break time. Had a little look at this. Right. So there are 3 teams. I think we can all attest that. I mean, some people will make arguments for this, but the teams that we should have beaten probably should have been the Texans. I know Rick will be disagreement on that one because he had a really good piece that he did on that. The Colts and Atlanta. It's 3 teams, right?
Yes.
If the Buccaneers beat one of those teams, they would have gone 9-6 right now. Do you know where they would be in that? Do you know where they would be in the playoff standings?
3.
3rd.
4th. They'd be 4th.
If they beat one of them, 4th, because they're 2 games.
Okay, so they're still 4th. And I'll pull it up for you just in case because I've got to make the rest of this beautifully compelling story that I'm going to go. If they would beat another team and they think they would be 10-5. Where do you think they'd be right now?
Then they'd be 3rd.
No,
they'd be tied with Dallas. Well, no, they'd be tied with Dallas.
They'd be tied with Dallas. You sure?
Yeah. Dallas, I believe, has 10 wins. don't they?
Yes,
But Dallas aren't leading the division.
That's right. They're not leading the division. It's the Eagles.
So it's Eagles leading the division.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So they're still fourth.
Right.
Okay, so they go and win another game. And they are now 11 and 4.
That's a good point. This is a very
11
good
and
point.
4. This Buccaneers team is 11 and 4. What playoff seed have they got?
Then they might wait.
Wouldn't
Then
they be
could go
1 or
third,
2?
right?
Nope, fourth.
Fourth?
Because we lost to the Eagles. They beat that tiebreaker, correct?
That's
Uh-huh.
right.
We lost to the 49ers.
Yeah.
We lost to Detroit.
And we lost to the Lions.
Wow.
We would still
That's
score
some
even
great
if
work,
we
Nate.
won
That's some
3
great
games.
work. That is some
It doesn't
great
make. Thank you.
work.
And see, this is why. See,
I did it just to a test to see what it would look like, and I was like, and I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting what you guys would slowly slide up the division and go, and I'm like, we're still fourth because of all the tiebreakers. And I'm like, so the Buccaneers would still be the 4th best team in the NFC. Doesn't matter how you slice it. I mean, they would be the true 4th because they'd be in front of the Dallas Cowboys, right?
Right.
Yeah.
No, there you go, guys. The playoff seeding would not change if we won 3 more games.
Yeah, who would they play if Dallas got their if they ranked them Dallas as a true number 4?
We'd still be playing Dallas.
I
So
agree.
nothing changes from playoff who they're playing in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's just that little cherry on top that you get to have and say, yeah, we beat 4 teams.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
That was beautiful, and that's great that you said that too, Slick. Because now that I think about it, if you look at it, those teams that you mentioned that we would still be under, we didn't lose bad by any of them. We were competitive as hell against all of them. We lost by 13 to the 49ers. We lost by 14 to Detroit, and we lost by 14, I think, to the Eagles. So we were in the game's reach, and not just the defense wasn't messing up. We have to understand too that the offenses at the time were clicking.
Because we're seeing it now. I said this when the Buccaneers in 2019 brought Coach Bowles in. The defense was still a bit of a mess, and then we got to those last couple of games, and everyone's like, "Well, I remember in 2020, everyone's like, this Coach Bowles defense is getting better and better and better. In the last 6 games, they did X, Y, Z, and if they can continue to do that, Tom Brady will have an amazing defense along with the playmakers that he's got around him." And I remember seeing that, thinking, and now we're seeing our offensive coordinator never called plays before, never been an OC before. They're figuring it out. The scheme's bedding in. Why would you cut it now? At this point, it seems like a match made in heaven. Realistically, I mean, you've got to want to see another year of this.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, you guys want to get really excited? The Falcons are probably going to fire their head coach. That means they're going to be rebuilding and reorganizing and having to do all that. The Saints are probably firing their head coach. That means they're going to have to basically rebuild. And the Panthers, well,
they're stuck.
Right. They just fired their head coach, so they're in the middle of a rebuild.
They're in limbo.
That means we will have the only head coach who carries over until next year. And if it takes any of those teams a couple more years to come around, think of the run we're in the middle of, guys. We're in the middle of a historic run for the Buccaneers where you're talking, this will be the 3rd year in a row. You're looking at 4, 5, 6.
Most division titles back to back, you could argue.
I mean,
it's possible.
This is and it's setting up for the next couple of years for us.
And
I mean, if we beat the Saints,
it's done.
Oh my gosh, you guys, don't just think this year. Realize what's coming down the pipe is they're gonna have to rebuild, blow the whole thing up. And you know what we did this year? All of a sudden, we got rid of all the the cap debt. We paid all our bills.
We got more money. We got more spend, a little bit more pocket money to go to the sweet shop and get ourselves some treats.
And the Saints got rid of their picks to get Derek Carr. They spent so much money. Yes, now you're yes.
That was such a bad investment. And Rick, again, guys, we have to give Rick put me on that Baker's Mayfield train. When we talked about it, I remember he said
we all fell off at one point. though. Let's face it, we all fell off.
No, that's not true.
No, well, Rick,
we were a little. Bit
I gotta say, I was a little frustrated.
But I tell you what, Baker has shown with that determination, that
Yes.
can-do attitude. I think it was just a bit of a spiral, and we just got ourselves out.
I just told
Seems like
everybody, stay the course. Stop trying to jump ship. Stop
Yeah.
doing that. You've got to stay the course.
Well, yeah, I agree. And the thing is, though, but you also have to look at it like this, fellas. Canales
we're up
also
so much. Why didn't we put Trask in?
no Trask. Look, as much as I'm a Gator man, but Trask, he's not seeing the field until maybe if the Bucs blow out the Panthers. And here's why. Bose has learned. I think what's and Rick, I know you're gonna be smiling from ear to ear. I can see. I think Bose is learning more, and I can respect the fact that
again, it's just something you get. Being a successful head coach when you're gaining success.
Yes.
Is a big thing because you're now game planning to win games rather than survive. Of course, he's always
an offensive coordinator who's never called plays before. Yeah, he's gonna get better as the year goes on.
Yes.
Okay, that's gonna happen.
They figured him out by like week four. You could see that teams were starting to kind of get into that sweet spot, figuring out. And then he kind of figured out what he liked, because at the same time, you're learning. He's learning on the job. And I always say coaches are constantly learning. Any coach who said they don't need to learn anything, they're probably a really shit coach.
So did our rookies on the offensive, a rookie in the O-line. So did once we got the O-line figured out, everything started
How many people changed position on that O-line?
Yeah, they're all over the place now.
Realistically, the only true starter of that O-line is probably Hainsey. You think about it at the beginning of the year.
The worst one.
Worst change position. He went to left tackle. You bring in a guard that played guard. You bring in a guy who played guard as your left tackle. You put in your center that from last year.
Yeah.
And then you bring in so Matt Filer was probably the other person because he played guard wherever he played.
Yeah, and he lasted 4 games.
He lasted 4 games, and then you put in the guy who played guard there as well, in Stinney as well. Right. So we'll go with 2 people on that offensive line are returning in the position that they're used to playing.
Mm-hmm. And as you said, we got we started to be patient. Rick said it. You got to be patient and look at it like this, because there was somebody else who said Gedke. I think Olsen said we got to give Gedke a chance, and Gedke has proven us
wrong.
He
proved me wrong on that. He proved me wrong on
me
that.
too.
I did not know. I didn't know. I was like, I don't know. He was a rookie last year, I guess.
What a move then! Like, what a fucking power play to go and take your best right tackle, put him at left tackle, and then go and take your guard and go and put him at right tackle, and it functioned better than when you had Donovan Smith. And do you know what I mean? It's like it feels makeshifty. Like the move was felt a bit makeshifty, but it worked, and there you go. We got what we got out of it.
Well, go ahead.
Another thing is that Canales is doing too for that made me go, oh shit, Baker's actually got it again. He's helping Baker in these positions. Go look at the games. How many plays have you guys seen now when Baker's in the pocket? He's getting rid of that shit quick. It's a lot faster. And because now Godwin is back in his right position in the slot, so it makes things open. How many plays have we seen now where, well, again, like I said, the Jags were just foolish, playing man against Mike Evans and not doubling him.
This, by the way, is why, because they were cramming everybody in the box to stop the run, is why the Godwin screens were working like crazy. It is because everybody was up inside in the box.
Yes.
You could play out screens.
Right. You play the out screen. Everybody's on the interior on defense. You're just going around them. And, I mean, that's why it was working. And that's why they kept going to it play after play after play after play.
Here's the thing. We did the Mike Cadwell thing. He's been with Coach Bowles since he was with the Coach Bowles was the secondary coach at the Philadelphia Eagles in 2012. They stay together until they both go to the Arizona Cardinals, the New York Jets, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and of course we know, and he left the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2021. So last year he was the inside linebackers coach, and he becomes the Jacksonville Jaguars defensive coordinator. Right. So the reason he plays man is because he's a disciple of the Coach Bowles philosophy.
Yeah.
Well, but they suck against the run.
Yeah.
I've said this before. You can have. I could go and learn a philosophy off Coach Bowles, right? I could go sit with him, and he'll go, "This is the blueprints to how I do everything." Yeah. And people seem to think you can live and die off plays. You really can't. It's how you coach it. And I'll go and take it to my team and go, right, guys, we're going to do this. My players aren't dialed in and things like that. And then all of a sudden I go, oh, we haven't won a game. But I used a championship defense.
Yeah.
Not every defense is equal. And obviously in this case, he's learning the limitations of what his defense can do. It's had moments where it was dominant.
He's learning how to use the players. Yeah, these guys.
Exactly. And that takes time.
A lot of rookies.
Second year defensive coordinator.
Yep. How about Yaya Diaby?
Oh, we're about to
get on about a little bit. Yaya tied with sacks.
Yaya is and what's scary. Yaya hasn't even
only 5 starts. Only 5 starts to his name.
That's where I was going. Yes,
he's reached. He's barely scratched the surface.
But that Cody Turner, the one at the Rams, he's only had 4 starts and he's got 6.5 as well for a nose tackle.
Yeah.
And the insane thing is, both of them are 3rd round.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is.
Look here,
and our future, our next few years look freaking awesome.
Him and Canty. Canty has what?
Canty is 7th. He is technically tied joint 5th.
Yeah. When Canty is that good, and you're busy looking at someone else, another rookie. Holy crap! And oh, by the way,
he's not meant to get sacks. I keep trying to tell people, Canty's not meant to get sacks. He's a run stopper. He's going to open the hole for a DRB.
Yep,
that's his job.
Yeah,
his job isn't to hit the fucking quarterback.
Right.
But if you can hit the quarterback on the way, that's brilliant. That's what we need. That always helps.
Yeah.
If you can get another one, another Canty, and another Yaya Diaby, this line is set for a good decade.
Yeah.
Yes. And Diaby is only going to get better. My God, when he blasted Trevor, I said, yeah.
Now the orbit motion that came across, it throws the ball to me. Just goes, you're dead.
Yes,
just flats him down. It was like it was almost cartoonistic. It's what he's done in a previous game. Someone took it on that motion, he just ran in a straight line and went, nope, bang. That is somebody who's been watching film, because you got to time that shit bang on right.
Yeah.
He knew that was coming. He didn't bother with his pass rush lane. He went straight to where he was supposed to go.
And he is
what is the
quick.
weakest position on the Buccaneers?
The weakest position, you might say safety, strong safety.
I don't know.
That's it. But that's still not bad. He's still decent.
Center.
What?
Center.
Yeah.
Defense. Center's probably on offense. It's probably center. And I've got no problem with how he's playing now, but I don't. When the rest of the line is playing well as well, I mean, I'm still not sold on the other guard. I'm not 100% sold on that yet.
On what's his name? The rookie?
No,
I'm fine with the rookie because he's got better. It's
Stinney.
I'm not 100. I'm not 100%
sold on Stinney. I'm sold on Stinney. I'm fine with that. Yeah, God, man. I mean, the number 3 wide receiver. I guess.
No, I think that's going to be better. I think that's getting there.
It is.
Canales is figuring out Palmer, and I have a feeling that this damn Saints game, guys, this is going to be a breakout game for Palmer, and this is why I say that. He's looking how to, like you said, Rick, it's taking time. Bowles and Canales are working this shit out. Mike Evans even said, we're still learning. So now people are getting things together.
Right.
And Canales, I think, throughout the season was trying to figure out how each receiver is working. So maybe that's what the reason why Godwin wasn't getting like the kind of open spots that we are accustomed to for him.
When it's got better.
He also wasn't in the slot.
Right. He wasn't in the slot. And I think with Palmer, they're going to figure out what y'all know where I'm about to go with this. You know what I'm about to bring up.
Crossing routes.
Look, I'm going to make a segment where I'm going to make some meme about that.
I'm going to use the YMCA going, dun, dun, dun.
No, you need the other side of your pillow, your no cushion coverage. You need the other side across.
That's right, across the route. And I say that because this is where I think Canales is going to use him. guys, can you imagine Palmer, a linebacker trying to cover him running across the field? It ain't gonna happen.
Well, the thing that I like about what he's doing is that he's using all three. He's using Palmer, Moore, and who's the other guy? I can't think of his name.
You're talking about 83.
Starts
Tompkins.
with T. Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Tompkins is a great screenplayer because of what he's able to do with a bit of space, and he's good at reading blockers to do that. Because guess what? He does what his primary job in the team is: read blockers and get and advance the ball.
Yeah,
kick returns. So it's almost like you're giving him a kick return, but it's like a shallow kick return.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he can use his size, his small size, to get underneath tackles. When he gets in full swing and he is taking off, that's when it works for his advantage. Again, like I said, they're doing things the right way. I think they're starting to learn, but that passing, I love that they have been aggressive the past 2 weeks. And we went back. I said, guys, if they do the Packers, they beat the Packers, they can possibly run the table. But I was saying, when they're using this pass,
I totally didn't believe you. Out of the team. I totally didn't believe you. You were right. I totally did not believe you.
I said that because the Green Bay, the thing was, it's all about narratives. It's so funny that when the Bucs are beating teams, now all of a sudden they're questioning, well, the other team wasn't doing this, but before that game, I think the Packers are going to be on a roll. Despite that loss to the Giants, they're going to bounce back and beat this Bucs team. Okay, then Baker goes into Lambeau and shits on them. Well, Joe Barry, we don't want to hear that. Then the Bucs go in, and then we take care of business. When's the last time, guys? The last time I was drunk in a happy way before halftime? I was drunk in a happy way.
I got this vision of you just kind of like swaying, like, I'm enjoying my moment.
Look, guys, I had my bottle of Hennessy right there, just sitting back, singing John. It's like, oh, this is going to be a good Christmas gift. When I saw that we were just scoring on them at will, and again, my buddy right here, Trevor Lawrence, had that beautiful makeup right here. Look at that shit. Just got rocked. Every time I saw this, I was
no, not Van Gogh. That's Picasso right there.
Oh yeah. Exactly.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna Picasso.
Sure. Oh yeah. Sure. As Sergeant would say, he was so ugly he could be a modern ugly masterpiece.
Yeah.
Yes, he got his ass whooped. That is what I'm talking about. And but we kept being aggressive. Now, Rick, weren't you surprised that Bowles was going in on 4th downs early? To talk about balls,
this is the thing. This is what I don't get, and I've said this about him. Now, I love Todd Bowles. I'm good with Todd Bowles. I don't love him, but
I'm good with Todd Bowles.
I'm good. What?
I'm good with Todd Bowles.
Yeah, but I've hung with him.
Not Todd Bowles. I have no time.
Not Todd Bowles.
Fucking
but I mean, the one thing, it's like every time he makes a critical decision, like go for it on 4th down or just anything like that, he's always freaking wrong. And, do I call timeouts? He's calling his timeouts. I don't know what the heck happened to him. I don't know what happened. Something happened.
He's learning too, though. I guess. He's
been a head coach for 6 years.
It's not that. In this game, you are constantly learning. And I think it's learning that when is the best time to do this? When the best time? Because it's so easy for us to turn around and go, you should call up timeout then. But we're so invested in the game in a human sense. You've kind of got to be more cold and calculating. It's like, I've only got 3 timeouts.
No, if there's one dude who's not emotional, who's calculating on the sidelines, it's Todd Bowles. I mean, come on, this is not a guy who's
showed a bit of passion today. He showed a bit of passion.
But you said it. He is coaching now to win, not to.
It feels like it. I tell you what, though, AJ, they're still doing cushion coverage. That shit ain't gonna win.
I ain't saying it's perfect. I'm not saying.
I think I've got a feeling. I did a little assessment thing, and they had cushion coverage in it, but they do this weird thing where they don't have both go back. They always have one press and one don't.
Yeah.
All right, and one's way off, and it's to give the illusion because they usually have a safety in the box. So the reason being for that, it took me about a couple of minutes to work out what coverage they were in. Just because of that. And I'm like, that will piss off a quarterback. Because you don't know what coverage is. You've got 2 high guys, but one of them's a corner. And then pre-snap, just before the ball is snapped, the other safety creeps back up. So technically, it's a free deep set. but the one doesn't actually play like that. And that's why I think they do it. It's to make the quarterback think a little bit more. I'm not saying no one's worked it out, but when I was looking at it, I was just like, what? I was like, what fucking coverage are they in? I can't work it out, because one of the questions I have for my assessment is, what coverage are they running?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, they got.
I saw that comment. I saw it.
Ben,
we have to bring this comment up, Slick. Ben is a genius. I guess I should let everyone know the secret that I heard from people who coached this week. Bruce Arians out there coaching this week with Mrs. Delphine Wards. Oh Lord. That kind of would be true.
I noticed he put a bit of timber on.
Yeah.
He showed a picture from the side, and I was like, damn, he had some burgers.
Exactly.
Yeah, there was passion. He was showing.
I honestly think that is true. I just think that Bowles has found a way to go. Like Slick, you said it. He is learning. He's still learning, but he's also learning to be more aggressive. He's doing something that I've said, if you don't have confidence in your team, it shows. Now that he's showing more confidence, look at the shit.
He's swaggering right now.
Yes, look at what this team is doing. We didn't see this offense. Remember, Rick, you were saying a while ago that, are we even sure that this team can get into 4th and 5th? And I said they can. They just got to do it the right way.
I'm not sure there's another gear.
Yeah, they're scary now. This is a scary ass team. This is a scary ass team.
You're 100% correct. There's another gear.
I told
my Christmas wish.
That was my Christmas wish. I said they can get this. And here's the scary thing. We got to see what's going to happen when they get the rollouts going. Every time I
don't even care about that anymore. I don't care, because what they're doing is using the screens instead of a rollout. So they are stretching the field horizontally, which is what they said they were going to do.
I wouldn't mind having it as another feather in my bow.
Right? Yeah. Okay. I'm good with that. But I mean, the fact that
I don't think you can build an offense, because throwing off platform is much harder than it lets on. You don't want to do that on a regular occurrence. You want to do that on certain downs. I think, like if you've got a second down and you got free trips one side, free crossing routes across, free crosses on the one side, then you could roll out towards it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't take a risk on that play being a regular thing.
Well, they waited. I mean, I see how they waited to incorporate the screens, and this is something. This team's evolving and growing and doing. I mean, it is learning, and I mean, honestly, everybody's learning. And I heard this, and this I didn't know, the story behind Canales getting the job, and this is the first I'd heard this, is that there were coordinators who turned us down. But Bowles actually turned down some of the coordinators that they interviewed, and he waited. And when he heard Canales, that immediately within the first very quick part of the interview, he realized that they clicked and connected and that this was the guy he wanted. And I mean, guys, I don't know if you heard, but they're talking. What's that?
I heard the exact point that you're making.
Yeah.
They did it in the middle of the broadcast. It was very interesting. I was like, so he did have other choices. This was the guy he wanted.
Right. And that's interesting to me, because that says a couple things to me. Number one, and Slick's going to be happy about this, it says to me he knew he was going to survive this season. Is that he knew then they said, we're going to take the entire $75 million hit and let's get through this year, and then we'll be clear the following year. I think.
And he looks like a fucking genius if he can get them a playoff berth, another divisional crown.
If they're 9 and 8,
and someone poking his ass with a fucking poker.
Yes, and I just sent you guys a picture, by the way.
Yeah, I saw it. I
saw
if
you want to bring that up, because I mean, if you're willing to.
Yeah, I'll bring it up. I got you.
Okay, there's a
reason. Yeah, you good?
Yep, I got you.
Okay, there's a reason I sent that to you, because everybody talks about how he just stands there with his arms crossed on the sidelines and never shows.
Is this the picture I think you're gonna the Diaby one?
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
We know that the players. We know. I've never. Every time I've watched podcasts with Buccaneers players that are on the current team, they're always like, "I love that guy."
Yeah.
Like, I watched a podcast with I think it was the one that Jesus Christ, I can never remember their name sometimes. They have so many fucking goofy names. But it's the one with Taylor Lewan and Will Compton. And Will Compton and Levante David go back to Nebraska.
Right.
when he played there. So they're very close. I believe Levante David was one of their first ever guests that they ever had on when they started way back when.
Okay.
Anyway, they asked him, "What's it like with Coach Bowles?" And this is pre-Super Bowl. This is yeah.
Tell me that guy doesn't have passion. Tell
That's
me
my
that
boy.
guy's just stoic on the sideline.
That's my boy moment.
Yeah.
That's my boy.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, I think I've read a lot of stuff, and a lot of people have turned around. I've read stuff from Bowles, and I've read what the quotes he said, and they're like, "Oh, you don't seem very like engaged on the. You should see me on a Friday practice when they get it wrong." I'll get after him at practice, but not in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because practice, I need them to get dialed in, ready for the game.
I want to argue with Ben.
No, I'm with you, Rick, and I'm gonna stop this right now because here's the thing. Here's what I want to. I don't like when people say this because it kind of annoys me because here's the issue.
He really doesn't like Coach Bowles.
Yes,
I know.
and here's the thing. I want to see more from Bowles too, but I also can look at when a coach is changing things and you can see the outcome of your team. You have to give it props, and it's not about the division because again, guys. This is not the worst. Are we forgetting that the Seahawks got into their division at 7-9 and they beat the punk ass Saints? The NFC West was horrible back in the day. So was the NFC North. So
every division not every division, but quite a lot of divisions go through that kind of.
Oh, absolutely.
The AFC South has been that up and down.
Exactly.
The way I look at it is when you're a little bit strapped for cash. You lose the franchise quarterback. We always say you need a franchise quarterback to win. It's one of the pillars of winning. If you want to be a winning football team, you need to have a franchise quarterback. All the teams that are in the playoff, for the most part, have a franchise quarterback. We're one of those teams that don't. We rely on having a good defense. What does Coach Bowles bring to the table? That good defense.
So, amen. And I want to go back to this, because people talk about the division. When the Seattle won that division, guess what the other team's record were? The Rams were 7-9 as well. The 49ers were 6-10, and the Cardinals were 5-11. Last time I checked, everybody else in the NFC South, besides the Panthers, but they're a cluster bomb. Everybody else has 7 wins. Do they or do they not?
Yeah, this is the thing. This division is not as historically bad as it looked like it was going to be at the beginning.
It was worse last year.
Right. And
it was last year.
And the thing is, and on top of it,
we tied up the division crown by week 17 and could just play bullshit football in the last game of the season with a losing record. Yes. That's how bad the NFC South was last year.
Right. Yep. And this year we may do the same thing just because we close it out this week. But
I don't
why.
know.
By the way, here is why. And I wondered this. It was driving me nuts, and I could not figure out. I was like, what in the heck does Todd Bowles have Baker Mayfield in this game for that late in the game? Why did they not pull him late in the game? And there's an answer, and it's a genuine answer, and it's a real answer. If Baker Mayfield plays 85% of the snaps, he gets a $1 million bonus. You do not pull Baker Mayfield out of the game.
Nope.
And you get that guy his bonus.
Because guess what? Do you know why that it rings true later? It happened with Gronk. It's now happened. It happened with Baker. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a habit of making sure their boys get paid. They won't pull you from a game when you've got contract obligations to finish to make sure you get your money, because other teams have done it in the past where they go, this guy's going to get 95. Where's he at? He's 98. He's 92%. We ain't fucking playing that bitch. We saved that $2 million.
Right. Yes.
For these people, it's fucking pocket money.
Right.
It means pocket money for the Glazers.
This is the stuff that I love. If y'all remember, we're talking about how bad our division is. No, we expected our division to be a lot worse than it is. Remember?
Yes, we did.
The Bucs were predicted to win how many games this year?
Two.
Three, four.
The average was 2 on a good day, 5.
Right. Okay. So 2, 3, 4 games they were supposed to win. Okay. Now they may win 10. And people are still like, I don't know about Bowles.
Imagine increasing your percentage by 80%.
Right. Not 80. No. If you were supposed to win 3 and you win 10, that's 300%.
I'll go with the 2 that I saw ESPN post up.
Yeah, I saw 2. That's why
Okay, so
I think
it's
2.
2 was the worst, but it was around about 6 games at most.
Yeah,
no one had us win anything more.
I thought it was 5 at most. I thought they only gave us 5.
Think about it. That's 300% better than we were expected to win.
Yes.
300% better.
The fans weren't happy with that.
And people are like, I don't know about bowls. I don't know.
It was the bullshit narrative that the GOAT was gone. Even though you just looked last year, the GOAT didn't do anything for it.
We're playing better without him.
Exactly. And guys, you got to give Rick his flowers. He said that this Bucs team would be better. You guys show him some respect. And I agree, because first of all, you have a quarterback that is not going to worry about getting hit. You have a quarterback that doesn't have outside issues. You have a true coordinator that is learned and not running the ball when the Steelers have no damn body in the damn secondary.
You can't have a pocket passer.
Yes, you have somebody, but you also have somebody who can improvise and that believes. The way that Baker believes in Mike Evans, it's not a coincidence that Evans is leading the league in touchdowns. It's not a coincidence that he got his 1,000 yards. Here's another thing. People don't realize Godwin is only a couple.
I got that as well. Don't worry. I got everything we're going into. Don't you worry. So Rachaad White needs himself 127 in 2 games to hit the 1K. And we are finally free of the Buccaneers now getting a 1K rusher. So we can move on with that motherfucker. Hopefully he can get it all in one day, which will be beautiful for me. And then Chris Godwin needs only 108 to hit the 1K. And then Mike Evans, not only does he have the 10 for 10 season, 10 1Ks, he is also his 5th time eclipsing 12 touchdowns or more. And there's only 4 people in front of him. Moss was 6. Marvin Harrison was 6. Terrell Owens with 7, and the great Jerry Rice with 8.
Oh, yeah. Those are just some guys. You know, those guys, just throw those names.
If he continues this trend of being great and what he's capable of, he could eclipse that record and the 1K record. And all of a sudden, there's no argument. But you know what they always say? Do you know what they always say? Oh, but he was never considered the top 1 receiver in his year. But you don't have to be. Consistency means so much more to me. And it means more to coaches too. Because if you've got a guy that's a flash in a pan like a Michael Thomas, what's the fucking point? Oh, wow. Well, 1 year you were the man. I've said this to people. I'm not saying Cooper Kupp's a bum because I'm not going to go down that route. But Cooper Kupp only has two 1K seasons in his entire career. He was drafted in 2017. People care on the injuries and the bullshit.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't he drafted with Chris Godwin?
I got a stat.
Go on. Bring it out, baby.
I got a stat. What's the most touchdowns Mike Evans has ever caught in a season?
15.
13. 14.
14. He's at 13 right now. With
he's going to clip that record so he can beat his own record.
And everybody's saying maybe not Baker, maybe not Bowles. What are we not doing better? What?
Rick, I'm going to give it to you right there. I told people this because I kept saying
a winning football team.
Yeah, and if you don't think Baker is not going to, again, Mike Evans has been through, I hope he writes a damn memoirs of the quarterbacks that's thrown me the ball. If he going to get 1,000 yards with Josh McCown, Baker is going to be fine. And Baker believes
this bum got me my 1K. This bum got me my 1K.
I just think people just got to chill out. It's like, stop hating. Leave Baker alone.
Leave Baker alone.
Do you think if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get the winning season, win the division, do you think Mike Evans is leaving?
Nope.
Especially if they re-sign Baker. What's he going to leave?
Nope.
A guy he's got good chemistry with, who potentially will get him more touchdowns he's ever had in his entire career.
Yep.
No, if he gets fit 2 more touchdowns this season,
he will,
and that's very likely.
Right. If he gets 2 more this season, he breaks that record. if Godwin gets how many yards this year?
105,
I
I
mean,
think.
100. I got 108.
Oh,
okay,
108.
108 next week. He gets it in week 16. Brady, remember, in the last week was dishing them out, trying to get everybody over 1,000 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he'll do it a week early. I mean, guys, everything is improved this year.
Absolutely. I agree. You're right.
Including the offense. If you look at the statistics,
Including the win column, the most important one.
or the win column, all the bitching about not being able to run the ball. And we're running the ball for more yardage than we did last year. We're throwing the ball for more yardage. There's more yardage thrown, I bet, this year, I believe.
Baker might have his career year with us.
Yes, he
yes.
will. Yeah.
And more touchdowns this year. More everything this year. We've improved over Brady's last year.
And the thing is, what makes it sweeter, you're right, Slick, we wasn't supposed to.
Right.
We were not supposed
We were supposed to suck.
We were supposed
to come third in the NFC South. That's what we were forecast.
Oh no, I heard we were like going to be the pick number 2 or 3.
I don't go with that because that's because people like to suck on the bit for quarterbacks.
I do like
rookie quarterbacks rarely do anything.
But pull up Russ Weeks. I don't care which comment. Okay, that Houston game.
It is what it is.
Get over it. It was a bad game.
Yeah, and guys, you got to give Rick his flowers here. He
did some great.
That was a hell of a.
That's gonna be chiseled on Rick's tombstone. He'll be laid there, loving dude, the man, and then underneath predicted what was going to happen.
He got that Houston game right.
Yeah, and he said that this team was on the come up too. That we shouldn't go in there unexpected, and he's right. In hindsight, look at
me and AJ were crashing the Houston Texans. We're like, nobody, a bunch of nobodies with nothing. Maybe we weren't that bad, but it went far.
The only reason it happened is I happened to have a vacation week that week, so I had a lot of time to dig into stats, and that's the only reason it happened is I had the chance to look through that. And I mean, okay, you're so busy, you're so pissed off that we lost the Houston game earlier in the year. Look, man, San Francisco went on a 4-game losing streak earlier this year. Was everybody calling for their coach's head and to get rid of Brock Purdy? No. So we went on a 4-game losing streak. Everybody freaked out. Listen, man, I got to break this to you. Some of this, what I'm about to say, may disappoint a lot of you. We're good. We're good. I know that hurts. I know you didn't want us to because you wanted higher picks. You wanted, I want one of the top picks, and I don't want to go to the playoffs this year because we lost last year. Idiots. I mean, there's so much.
But what did we gain? Hey, last year, guess what we got? We finished where we finished. Everyone was there were people disappointed that we didn't get a pick. We picked an. I'm sorry, I've got it up here now. Tied the 5th best sacking defensive lineman. Now, if you're going to go defensive lineman and not pass rusher, we'll take the edge rushers out of this because edge rushers always gain more sacks. That's a fact. Pure guys that are in the middle of the defensive line. Kobe Turner, Will Anderson. So he's ranked 4th. The 4th best in the rookie class.
And then there's Christian Izien, who didn't even get drafted.
Right, and he's balling. But when our boy Carlton went out, Izien took over there was not a skip beat. And you're right, guys. This is why people don't. When you have to respect the process. We didn't, and I'm learning that Bowles is basically, in a way, if Bowles gets us the 10 wins, and I do think we'll beat somebody in the playoffs. A lot of people, including myself, might owe Bowles an apology and say,
Nobody
you know what?
that. You kidding me? They're still going to.
Baker needs 2 touchdowns and about 200 yards, and he's broken his own record of his highest passing. He's never hit the 4K yards. He's currently about 400 short of it, which, let's face it, in 2 games he should get.
Yep.
But his best, he's currently 2.598, and his best is 2.827. His best game is 27 touchdowns. But guess what? His best year was with the Browns with only 8 interceptions. He currently only has 8 interceptions. So he might break that marker, but also his rating as a quarterback is the highest it's ever been. So it's check across the board.
Yeah, no, and it's not far-fetched that a lot of things can't happen. Last time I checked, Fournette never broke 1,000 yards with us.
No, he did not.
Ronald Jones got close, but he didn't get it.
I tell you what, when I watched that game last week, the rushing game didn't look that bad because they converted when they needed to convert. So it was always like, oh, we got a first down. Oh, we got a first down. And that's what I was looking at. And when I sat there and was doing the post-game show, and I'm like, he got that many yards? It felt way more. It felt way more because it was at critical times. Like, no one gives a shit if you got 15 yards on a first down, but then when it mattered, you gained a yard, or you gained half a yard, or you were blown off the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
For him, it was consistent yardage at key points in time.
Yes, it was.
Right.
And it was like I set up a good third. We threw the ball on second down, didn't get much out of it. Then I rushed, and now it's like it's a 3rd and 2. That's a worthwhile rush. Even if you only got 3 yards, you've made third down manageable. And I think that's an efficient rushing game I'm seeing. Not a great one, an efficient one.
Right. Cole, what Christopher Cole just said is
I like it. And this is Slick is. I'll let Slick start with this because Slick has broken it down why this would be great for the Bucs to have a quarterback. Slick, you go ahead and take it away. You do it better. You articulate it better.
It's this simple. You don't have to waste a first round pick. It's that simple. You don't have to waste a first round pick. If you wanted to, with the track record of us going into the 2nd and 3rd round to get playmakers, you could trade out of the 1st round.
I'm such a fan for that.
You could get yourself 2 second round picks, a 3rd round, and then you've got your 3rd round pick, and then you've got a 4th round pick that you could use to puff yourself back into the 3rd round. So then you've got 4 guys that are potentially immediate starters. We've seen what they've done with it before, because guess what? Right now, this team, we said at the beginning of this year, me and AJ said they needed to hit it on their first 3 picks, and they have come up massive.
And William Lawson said, I think the main thing the team figured out is that you can set up the run with the pass rather than have the run set up the pass. I think there's truth both ways in that. Here's what happened. Yeah, here's what happened is once the running game started to once they switched to Stinney. It's the bottom line. Once they switched to Stinney and the run game came alive, that's really the difference. Was not setting up the run with the pass. It was we put Stinney in there and all of a sudden we could run. And now defenses, like I said earlier, had to pick their poison. Which one are we going to cover? Are we going to cover the run? Are we going to cover the pass? And they keep flip-flopping back and forth. The Falcons played us deep and dared us to run on them. So we did. Mm-hmm. Then the Jags, crammed the box and said, Baker, he's not going to beat us. And Baker did.
Get him to beat us with his own.
Right. It's the thing is, now that we've got the 2 biggest moves of this season, and they will be overlooked in the long run, was putting Aaron Stinney at left guard and putting Chris Godwin back in the slot.
Oh, you nailed it right there.
Those 2 things changed this offense.
You're right, and that's why I was gonna fill that out. The passing is more effective now because Rick 13 and 14 are in sync. That's why I think that pass is more threatening because yes, the run can do damage, but that passing when 13 and 14 goes off, now, oh shit, we can't contain. You already know, we know Mike Evans is double. If you don't double him, you're being disrespectful and you're going to suffer. Ask Jacksonville. If 14 goes off, which you can't contain both. So when them 2 go off and then you try to contain them.
Don't on the same side of the field because it's easier to defend. Spread those 2 guys as far, like you can go slot on the one side and get him to run out breakers, in breakers, and whatever. Because you can run a much wider route tree from the slot.
Yep.
Right. The route tree you run from the slot is way more imposing than what you can run if you're outside the numbers. When you're outside the numbers, you can't run out breaking stuff. as much.
Right.
Because you have less space to play with, right? Sammy sideline is also a defender.
Right.
And you don't want to touch that shit. So that's where you got to go with this. And then when you spread them out, they've got to spread their defense out to compensate for it. And you can't, like you said, you can't double cover. But it's easier to double cover people if they're right next to each other.
Yeah. By the way, Ben Cornette said, "I'm sorry, Rick, is not Miley Cyrus. No, I didn't come in like a wrecking ball. I came in like a butterball. Now leave me alone."
He had that Christmas, a bit of Christmas shred ready to go.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Look, that's what we were shredding this Jacksonville squad again. But this offense, your personnel, like Slick had already said, a scheme don't mean shit if the people can't use it. And Russ just said something real. This is what good coaches do. We're gonna do whatever the defense gives us.
And he's starting to learn what the defenses are giving him. It takes time for this stuff. We've got to be patient, and the patience is starting to pay off. I'm happy to see one more year, bare minimum.
Oh, me too.
At a minimum. Yeah.
At this point, if he continues to keep going up, you got to extension.
In that second year with the team, it's going to make a big difference.
Yeah,
second year for players in this new scheme. Always, we saw it with the 2020 Bucs.
Yeah,
they gravitate to it. That defense was amazing. We saw what they did to my homeboy. He did nothing.
Oh, we broke him psychologically and emotionally. And as you said, it's not like Bowles and Light haven't struck lightning.
They've got a good season.
Draft picks.
They find that you've got to understand that a lot of people don't realize this. Head coach has a bit of a say on the player personnel.
Exactly.
And they're not going to say, "I'm going to draft you whatever you have, and I'm just going to give you what you want." They have to sit there and go, "Yeah, I think this guy's a stud too."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be some arguments there. But we should go this guy. We should go that. And maybe there's some power plays in the play where he turns around and goes, "No, we're drafting this guy." But ultimately, they have to have a good unison, and that's the good teams have that. The head coach and the GM are in sync with each other about what they want to get and what the team needs to get. And if you don't have that, you're fucked.
And I think you are onto something. And here's the thing: I think they both Light and Bowles have that kind of respect. I wouldn't be surprised if the defensive players we got was on Bowles' decision, and the offensive people we got was Light. Because let's be real, Light has a great eye for offensive players, especially wide receivers. We already know number 13.
Yeah, absolutely. Track record getting people outside of nowhere.
You struck lightning twice, and then you still have potential in Palmer, who's going to be an up and coming guy. Otten, he has potential. So as you just said, can you imagine another year of success and Bowles gets the draft? Hey, we need an edge rusher, guys.
And
Let's
we
go
have
get this
money.
guy.
And we have money. Yeah.
And we have money, right? We have some coins now. And
so trade out the first round. Get yourself 4 day 2 picks.
Oh my
Go and sign 2 premier guys. Sign at least one premier guy. Probably a pass rusher. You got to go center somewhere. You got to go another pass rusher. Probably a skill player. And then probably a defensive a safety. You get that, I think this team could go way further. Now, I'm not saying we got to do what
we're going to get free agents because we're going to have some money.
And people are going to be
and people want to come here because they're like, Jesus, see what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did? They got Mike Evans and they got this guy. Especially if they re-sign.
In which they will. The people, as you just said, people are going to say,
Baker
shit.
with that swagger on the phone. Come and play for me.
Exactly. Get your ass down here. We can do this. Wait, they did this on a year that nobody gave a shit about them, and they didn't have any money.
Yeah,
they got some money.
We're getting some press. We're making some noise. They're starting to talk about us. And let me tell you something. If we're back in, playing well, just a couple of years after the Super Bowl, after a rebuild that quick. Yeah, people are going to take notice and be like, "Wait, what are they doing?" And
every year that deficit goes down of all that dead, crappy money.
Yeah.
Next year, the year after that, it's nothing pretty much.
And you guys just said it. Rick said it, fellas. Hey, guys, wait a minute. Oh, the Saints are going to be some shit because they're going to have to rebuild. Oh, the
And
Falcons are going to have
cap
to be.
space is fucking worse than ours, bro.
Yes, and then they
Worse
might
than
have a
ours.
fire sale and that means certain people are going to be gone already. Oh, wait a minute, the Falcons can't afford to keep Pitts and all them anymore. Somebody's going to have to leave. Oh, the Panthers, enough said. Oh yeah, sign me up. And as Rick, if they do that, Rick, if those coaches all leave, damn that the Bucs. I can see the Bucs winning the division for the next 5 years. 5 straight more years.
I'm not too far.
Simmer down, Sparky. Simmer down.
I like it.
Simmer down.
I say that because I know this.
2 years, definitely. 2 years.
I'm 2 or 3, we're good.
I would say 5 because
you've got to look at the year-on-year record. So if the Buccaneers constantly get better and they constantly succeed, we can have a different conversation next year. I could turn around to another three on top of that. But right now, I'd say 2 years, definite, because you don't know how.
We're going to win for the next 20 years. It's our division.
No, I wouldn't say that. The only reason I say 5 is because, as you guys just said, if you look at the numbers for the Saints,
we don't know how other teams will improve. I get where you're coming from, but all it takes is they get that right coach.
3-year rebuild, and you can, I mean,
let's not go with the 5. Let's go 2 to 3 years. 2 to 3 years is a fair assessment, I think.
Yeah, right. and that means 5 or 6 division wins in a row.
Attitude is always go big or go the fuck home. Right. He's got the arms that say it.
It's always because I look at
go big or go home.
Because now that that Bowles is and the coaches are looking big, the Buccaneers are playing big. Remember, guys, just
you get that. You're talking about this Buccaneers team getting better and better and better, and I completely agree with you. But what happened? Dave Canales, head coaching job. There's going to be a change there. That could happen in the next 2 years. So you can't facilitate that. That's going to be the next guy coming in is going to be able to do the same thing in 3 more year time after that. So there's so many unknowns.
Canales isn't going anywhere after this year, so that's good.
For sure. And I don't think he's going anywhere next year either. I think people want to see a bit more sample size. Yeah. And 3 years in a system usually gives you that. This guy knows what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. And that's why
we're going to get to oh my God, we're going to be 1/3 of our salary cap back next year. And oh my God, another draft class.
And can we go and talk about the draft class for this Bucs? We have been striking a lot. The 2020 draft class might be
this is a really good draft.
No, I'm gonna go on a limb. That could be another historical draft class for your Buccaneers. Just think about
this year was fucking on the same page.
No, that's what I'm thinking. This year may even be better.
I agree.
No, I look at the worst thing. I'm not sure that could be the generational talent of all time for this Buccaneers.
Wait, because Wirfs and Winfield, can we say that them two are generational? They might be. I think Wirfs, you could.
Wirfs has been the guy straight from the moment he walked in the building, pretty much. Yep. I'd say Winfield, in the league, it's taken time, and this is his first year where he's been the fucking man. The year before that, he was one of the men. The year before that, he was one of the few, and the year before that, he was just a good safety.
Okay, I see. He's gradually
his progression. You can see it like year in year out. This year, he's just insane.
Oh, absolutely.
He's on
the Levante David of safety.
Yes, he is the Levante David.
Fucking Goku, and he just got instant transmission.
Exactly.
Hey, question: as much as we love Levante David, and this is a good off-season topic that'll keep the shows interesting, is that a Hall of Fame? Is he? I know we feel like he is, but league-wide, I mean, is he going to get that kind of,
I think he will, Rick. Just the simple fact that Brady got there and gave him all of the attention, it's enough. And low key, Levante had the players respect all the time. It was the media that didn't give him. But if you ask players, they always say no. Levante David is up there.
Not the players that vote, though. It's not the players that decide.
I think Brady's impact with coming to Tampa, it opened up a lot of people's eyes and said, wow. Because look at Levante's numbers. Statistically speaking, Levante, I think this year, he's the only player right now, I think, active with like 100-something tackles already. Levante's numbers will speak for itself. Now, you can now the big debate is will he be a first ballot? I don't know. I don't think he will.
No, I don't think he'll be a first ballot. I think
No.
unfortunately for him, the All Pros and the Pro Bowls will go against him. I think he'll be one of those players that gets in. I don't even think he'll be second.
The third.
I think he'll be like a Rondé Barber kind of guy who gets in on maybe the fourth.
I hope he makes it in.
I think he will make it, but like Slick
the
said,
interesting thing for him is I think by the time he retires, all the other guys will have already had their shot. So it's him and Bobby Wagner. That's the problem.
You know what I
Bobby
think
Wagner's
is
still
really
in
funny?
the league. Sorry, go ahead.
Mike Evans has been that good for that long, but this year's the first. Even when with Brady, he didn't get all the attention because Brady was getting all of it. This year, all of a sudden, when you listen to games and when you listen to everything, it's like they're like,
wow.
Oh, and you might not have realized this, but
yes.
Mike Evans is pretty darn good.
Yes.
You know?
Well, I think that also goes to
the knock-on effect from the Brady era.
Yeah, and for people who know the game of football, you have remember, guys, don't give Rick shit about this, but Rick said this about Brady, that he was a cautious type of quarterback, and a cautious quarterback didn't benefit the likes of Evans. Evans always had his best years.
The guys that they always turn around and why he's good. Why is he good? Tom Brady. I'm like, okay. You're saying Tom Brady's been here since 2014?
Right. He was good with.
Because I'll take the Super Bowls that come with that.
Right.
I'll take them. But there's 3 Super Bowls in there somewhere.
No, he's been good
14,
long before
17,
Brady.
18, and 20. I'll take it. I'll take it right now. 4 Super Bowls for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's do it.
Right, and that's
we'll
why
take the record too.
And that's why Baker and Evans go together, because Baker is he believes in him, and he slings it to him. He throws it up no matter what. We know Brady was a perfectionist. That's why Brady and Godwin had a better repertoire, because
you need a risk take. Mike Evans needs a bit of a gunslinger mentality. He needs that person who's going, fuck it, Mike's there.
Exactly.
Because if you're going to play caution to the wind, Mike Evans probably doesn't get open as much, because he is that 50-50 guy. You launch that ball up. You saw that touchdown. 2 defenders. Jesus Christ, no one should be throwing that ball. But Mike Evans is either going to come down with it or he's dropping it. There's only 2 situations. So why not go for it? And often enough, when the game is on the line or when the ball needs to be caught, Mike Evans comes up.
That was some Calvin Johnson shit, to be quite honest, because those were 2 people on him. I tell people, it's hard to have one person covering you. 2 people, and the ball was perfect, and he snatched it.
That was a perfect high-low. They had one guy literally closing down on him high, another guy tightening the gap on him low. That shouldn't be a completion. What does he do? He just goes a little bit higher than everyone, plucks it, and just falls into the ground and goes, "Oh yeah, I got a touchdown."
And then did a little dance with it.
And you see the link up in their dancing now. Like Mike Evans has his little,
Yes, Mike Evans is having fun.
He does that, and then
That's where you just hit it, AJ. That's exact. Oh my God, you went where I was going in my head. Is the Brady thing started to just wear the circus, that surrounded all of it, and everything. It started to just become heavy and wear on the team, I think. And this year they're having fun again. And I said this before. Finally, look, I am so glad about the years we had with Tom Brady. I'm so glad he came here. All right. That was awesome.
Yes, it was.
But it is so good to be a Buccaneers fan again, and not just a Brady fan. It's so good to hear about my team, not just my quarterback, to hear about my team and to be winning as a team. And even when we were winning as a team with Brady, it was Brady.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just.
It was exhausting.
It was exhausting.
It was great. Hey, look, we're never going to complain about Tom Brady. We won a fucking championship. But they got to a point where we're like, it's Brady's Bucs. You see it in the broadcast. It's Tom Brady's Bucs versus the Carolina Panthers. They didn't have anybody. No one's fucking talking about whoever's with their team. It was Tom Brady's Bucs. The Tampa Brady Gronkaneers.
Yeah, Tom Brady.
Tampa Bay. And we're just sitting back like, damn it. And Rick, you're right. This is the year where we're like, yeah, you see what happens when you play as a team.
Yes.
And again, we love Brady. You're right, Rick. I tell people, Brady, what he done was nice, but there was a fucking reason that Brady came to Tampa too. Don't be silly either. Brady knew that he had an elite receiver in Mike Evans and an elite receiver in Godwin. People forget, even under Winston, the very year before last year, those were 2,000-yard receivers. You don't think Brady said, oh, shit. And then as Slick said, Bowles, that defense is solid. Wait a minute.
That's why, and that had a huge part. And Brady said it. A big part of the reason he came was the defense.
Yeah, that defense is solid. And now,
defense wins championships. Everyone knows it. And they're saying he knows that. He knows that.
Yep, and now look at this. You got a team that's hungry, that is under the radar. And here's the thing: this is not a stretch. The Bucs are the most dangerous team right now in the NFC. Dangerous. I didn't say the best. Yeah, I didn't say the best. I said dangerous.
Did you wake up feeling dangerous?
I woke up feeling dangerous. I woke up dangerous, and then why I say that, Dallas is.
I saw a picture of that, and I'm like, I gotta get one.
Yeah,
like
this. If anything, if I'm Bowles right the fuck now, I'm looking at that Baltimore game and I'm looking at everything the Ravens did to abuse the 49ers.
No. If I'm Bowles, I'm looking at the Saints.
Of course, I get that. Well, look, we're gonna get to that in a second. I've said this, and I was gonna tell y'all later, but no, I expect, and if I am Bowles, when you play the punk ass Taints, you blow them out. This is the game that you want.
I don't care if they win by 1 point. If I'm
I know, but I want them
to have a teacher game and we get to celebrate in front of their faces.
I do.
That's all I give a shit about. I don't care if we win. I don't care if we win 2 points to nothing. I couldn't give a shit.
Please dance in their locker room.
That's what I'm saying, Rick. I want to embarrass. This is a team that, because again, the reason why I say that, Slick, this is a team that pisses me off about the same.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get Tristan. I'd love it. I'd love to see it, but at this point, because of how crucial the game is, because like, don't get me wrong, if you can blow them out, we want to blow out everyone. Ideally, that the ideal world, that's what happens. But at this point, I just want to win the game because it guarantees playoffs. It guarantees this. But if we can have fun in the process, and I generally believe this, I wanted to talk about this. The Saints could be out Michael Thomas and Marshawn Lattimore.
They will
both in concussion protocol. Sorry, I've not seen it. I've not seen it confirmed.
Okay.
Well, I've not seen it anywhere. They've not missed any of this week's practice yet.
Right, but apparently they're saying that they're not going to play. They're saying that
they would do not to play, but nobody, you don't know until you know, right? So they've not actually been ruled out yet.
I agree, but either way, bring it on.
They're most likely not going to play because of the injuries that they've got.
Yeah, but I want to bring it. I want Marshawn's punk ass to get out there. The reason why I say this, like, if you beat this team early, like again, if they start losing early, Rick, like you said, they might just say, guys, this ain't it for the. We gonna.
I don't want to see Mike Evans lose his cool.
He's not going to. He's not going to. He's having fun. What's gonna happen is, if anything, these guys are locked.
Imagine they did it for 2 games.
They're locking in at the right time.
That's my point, Slick.
No, they're locking it. And the reason why I said is you want to beat this team early anyway. We don't want. I don't. Of course, if they win down to the wire, that's cool. But this is the type of team, because it is a rivalry. It is a personal thing. I want us to take care of business fast. I don't want us to do what the Eagles did.
AJ, this is my point. Twice Evans has lost his cool and gotten suspended. If that was the 3rd time, it's going to be multiple games, and that would make him.
Yeah, I think you got to play caution to win here. But however, both are scheduled not to be in the game, and if they are not in the game, it opens it up for us. For us, it's a different situation. Antoine Winfield was evaluated for a concussion. He said he's okay. He could have gone back in, but they chose not to. Fair enough. If you've got a pending concussion, or you're not sure someone's got a concussion, the worst thing you can do ideally is put them back in a situation.
Yeah. Guys,
so when the game's in hand, okay.
I have to run. I'm sorry. I've been sitting here. I got so excited. I'm like, I'm like a half an hour longer than I needed to be here. Yeah.
No, Rick, tell everybody where they can find you and what you got coming up. Because
a week from tonight, we'll be on. Dave and I will be back right here. Bucks Report and Broad Street South Radio and Florida Sports Talk or Sports Talk Florida. Sorry, Bucks Report and all over the place. We'll be here on what's the name of my show? Bucks Live. And
I love it.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
I love it. I need to get that shit. That is some cool shit. Look
Have
out,
a good night.
brother.
Have a good night, guys.
You too. Take care of yourself, my man. And with that, yes, guys. Again, we want this. But Slick, again, I honestly think that this game, because of the Bucs are in a better position. I don't see Mike Evans and Lattimore. Even if they play, I don't see Evans losing his cool.
No, I just think it just adds an extra layer that we got. Antoine Winfield is going to be okay. We know that's fine.
Yes.
I saw the interview with him, talking about the game, and he said he's fine.
Yep.
So that's 100%. Carlton Davis has been evaluated for a concussion and was ruled out for the rest of the game. So Carlton Davis potentially is out.
Yes, that could be an issue, but
McCullum has started to play well. I was a bit of a naysayer against him, and I've not been that impressed, but he has took it to another level each time. I don't think he's at Carlton Davis level yet. Could he be? Potentially, I don't know. But that doesn't worry me, considering they've got a wide receiver out. So now you look at the bigger pictures, we got a wide receiver, they got a wide receiver out, we've got a corner out. So it kind of balances out. The bigger picture is that Antoine Winfield's back, so we don't have to worry about that fucking problem, and that's what I'm all about.
Oh, I agree. I really do want us to go in there, and man, that's why I say Canales, come out there with that game plan and be hard again, and just pause, but just do your thing and come out aggressive, attack. The way that we took care of it, remember when we played them the last time, we can honestly say I never felt that the game was out of hand for the Bucs. I'm like, the Bucs actually got this shit. They're actually gonna beat this team, and I don't have to worry about it. I want to have that same level of confidence when we go in there, and I think that's what's gonna happen because. Win one more game, Slick. One more game, and our beloved Bucs are going to be the NFC South Kings again.
Just imagine winning at home. Winning at home against your rival team, New Year's Eve. Can you imagine the champagne popping that day?
Oh, I look. Hold on, Slick. This is what I got popping right here for you. Hold on. Look here, buddy. If that happens, I got another bottle right here. Yes, free advertisement. Got that hen dog. Oh, yes. And I got champagne too. I got some rosé. I got all that shit. Oh, yes. Oh, Tampa would be that would be a beautiful
That's what I mean. It's got to be done against the Saints game. I don't want to wait to the Panthers game because it feels like shoulda, woulda, coulda. Don't get me wrong. I'll be happy with the 9-8 record. I'll take it. But at this point, beating the Saints back to back. I can't remember. Series wins against them. So the streak continues to 4 games straight.
That's right. 2 years of ass kicking. Yes.
2 years of they can't beat us. And hey, remember what Cam Jordan said.
There's no rivalry.
Tampa Bay going to go back to what Tampa Bay is always going to be.
Exactly. But that's why I say blow them out because you said this before, Slick. Every time they'll say that shit, but if they beat us, they get in the locker room.
I could not. Jim Malvin, you're a dude. Thank you. Much appreciated. Sweeps. That was the word. We will sweep the Saints in the series.
Yes, but that's why I want if you whoop this team's ass now, and again, I say this because I think this is why I say Trask won't start anymore, or if he ever gets in against the Panthers, it'll be late if we blow them out too.
Yeah, I'm hoping we have that attitude because I've read somewhere from Bowles that he's not going to go down the alley of what he did last time.
No, exactly. I'm glad you said that.
He said that he felt the team lost a lot of pop.
Yes.
It kind of lost its mojo. So I think he's going to go, we'll fucking play, and we maybe take certain players out that that they've always got that mojo going. So like an Antoine Winfield could come out. A Levante David could come out.
Mike Evans can come out.
Mike Evans could come out, or you use him sparingly. You don't use him as much. You reduce their snap counts, and you reduce the snap counts of the key players. Maybe you only put them in on third downs. Little things like that you can do, so you limit the amount of shit that can go wrong, I guess.
I agree 100%, and I think that's what will happen. Or it's one of
Completely
those
taking the team out and they lost. I think, yeah, it did take a bit of pop, especially when you've got a losing record. I think the team wanted to get that win. Like, can you imagine going, right, guys? So we're 8-9. We're 8-9. We're 8-8.
Mm-hmm.
All we have, if we win, we don't need to win. We've already won the division, so we're not interested. Can you imagine going into that game, the game planning, how invested are you knowing that you're going to get? They're not taking the game seriously.
Right.
It's hard to be invested, and then you got to take that mentality and apply it to next week and just switch it straight the fuck back on.
That's
It's
not
that simple.
Not that
So
simple.
you got to turn around and guys, we'll pull plays if we need to, but we're in this to win it because players want to win.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
I want to win. Players want to win. And I would say coaches want to win, but they probably took caution to the wind going, we want to go in healthy. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a bit of a Tom Brady move. Tom Brady was advising this, and guys, you get healthy, yeah.
Damn, I agree. You're right. But I think Bowles this year wants to keep that aggression going. Again, like you said, if anything, I'd be like, hey, if you really want to rest, put their asses away early so then we can sit down and chill out and then evaluate ourselves. And then you could take a look at your depth and say, oh, okay, this guy can possibly do this.
We're deep in the playoffs. We could put this guy in, especially on offense, because offense is when you get to see that little pop from a guy you wouldn't normally get to see.
That's right.
You can't scheme for it because it's not going to be in your main scheme. It's different.
And you know who would be good for that?
We sent this boy on this route, and he fucking dominated. They'll have it in their mind, but they won't have it on the forefront of their mind because they're going to look at your bread and butter first.
Right. And then who could be a game changer on that offense where he could be sneaky? Durnham. That wheel route.
And starting to climb a bit more.
Yes. That wheel route. I said, wow, that was some Gronk shit.
That was awesome. That was a Gronky play.
You nailed it on offense. He could be that guy where who the hell is 87? I thought Gronk retired. That's not Gronk, that's Durham. Who the fuck is that? The guy who just caught a 30-yard bomb on us. What? You didn't tell me about him, coach. We didn't know. We didn't know what he could do.
Jim Malvin has just said he disagrees with him. He would bench Baker, Evans, and Vic. I think the only reason, and that's fine, dude. Everyone's got a philosophy what they think works, right?
Yeah.
And we kind of get the benefit of hindsight when we can turn around and work. So for the sake of argument, let's say me and AJ, we turn around and say, no, we don't want that. And they go in the game and they get injured or they go in the game and they get injured towards the end. You can turn around to go, well, you called that fucking wrong. And you're absolutely right. But you get the benefit of hindsight because you're going in the opposing team, right? Because you're opposing the thing. So, but if it turns around, the Buccaneer, Coach Bowles is learning. And Coach Bowles felt like last year the team lost its mojo. So he's feeling, fuck it. I'm playing my guys to the end, even if it's a nothing game. Because to players, there's no such thing as a nothing game. They want to win them all. They want to win them all. They don't care about the strategizing of we'll live another down and we'll live another play. I get where you're coming from because it's not the wrong thought. This is one of those things. It's what you as a coach and as a building believe in is the right decision. There is no wrong decision here until there's an injury, and then you can turn around and go, well, you were wrong. But then when you get blown the fuck out, I can turn around and say, well, we were wrong because you helped us lose our mojo. So there's no wrong decision here. It's just your decision. Coach Bowles tried it one way, it didn't work. So I feel he's entitled to see it the other way through.
That's right. And Jim, just think about what he said. Bowles is learning. Last year, that game against Atlanta, they were doing something. Then they still allowed them to come back. That set the tone for how the Bucs went.
We would have won that game if we kept the starters in.
Yeah, the Bucs
would have had a winning fucking record, and we wouldn't.
Yes, and here's the thing:
we got the piss taken out of us for having a losing record. I fucking hate it. Imagine how the players felt.
That's right. I was gonna say that too, and also the Bucs this year. You go with 10 wins. Do you understand that brings such a level of confidence to your team to go, guys? They said we was only gonna win between 2 to 5 games tops. We doubled that shit. Oh, whoever comes in our house next week, we're going to whoop that ass. And it's more likely going to be Dallas. Do you think Dallas, a team that's already struggling and is not that good on the road, They don't want to come in and play a team like the Bucs. Offensively, again, this Bucs offense is dangerous. They can't stop Evans, Godwin. You can't. Those two right there already is going to be a headache. And then if you do contain them, now you got Otten. Now you got Palmer. Now you got Rashad White in the backfield. That's the third wide receiver right there, Slick. Rashad White in the backfield.
The Buccaneers win out and they don't do a lot. We'll maybe a game or two. We'll be a game or two, but no, we'll be a game behind them. If we win out and they lose one of their games, right? So let's say, where are they at right now?
They're 10-5.
They're 10-5. So they go. Let's go. They go at 11-6 for the sake of argument. I don't know who they're fucking playing because it's the fucking Cowboys and I can give a shit.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
Yeah,
they got the Lions. That's not easy.
Nope. They're gonna.
And
lose.
they got a divisional game to tie it up. So let's say they win one and they lose one, right? So and we win out. They're only one win in front of us. So they're not that much. They're not that much better than us.
Nope. Not even.
And they're cream teams, but they've also fucking been beaten by some teams too.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing: the Cowboys or the Eagles, because let's say if the Bucs if the Cowboys got their shit together and the Eagles fall apart.
Remember, the Cardinals beat the Cowboys.
Yep, exactly. And if we play the Eagles, Slick, look, now we have an idea of what we did wrong because we played them earlier and say, oh, now we can take a look at what we did wrong there and learn from it. Again, those teams are not the only team right now that I would say the Bucs still they're in a different class as the 49ers, but that's still the Ravens gave you a blueprint on how vulnerable they can be. And we also look, the Bucs are dangerous right now. Some of the commentators are even saying, wow, Tampa Bay is not looking like a joke anymore if you go to their house. Remember, we get a home game, our first game. Dallas, and again, Slick said this very well. We've said this. Dallas is a team of individual talent. They're not a unit like the Bucs. If one person on the Cowboys starts feeling too much ego, they're that talented teenager that is good, but when you get in their head, it's over. And that's Dallas. And they can't. You don't want to know a funny thing? Dallas can't run the ball either, Slick. They can't run the ball, and they're relying on Dak. And we already know. I'd rather have Baker than Dak right now because at least Baker, he can improvise and find a way to get himself out of a slump. When Dak is in a slump, it's just like Dak. It's just done.
It's like Dak.
It's like Dak. The shit is done. Yeah. The shit is done. So this is why there's hope, guys. You want to keep this team. I said it already. It's like I remember I said it. If the Bucs can win in the Packers, they can win out. And it seems like they're going to. But right now, overall, like I said, before we get up out of here, because it is getting late, but I want to
get late. I just won't go to last comment. Jim's doubling down, and he said Baker, Evans, and Winfield with a week's rest. Look out. I get what you're saying. No one's saying you're wrong. Like I said, It's your way how you would attack this.
Yes, but
also, I think Coach Bowles, the way he found it last year, the way the team lost its mojo, they played incredibly poorly in the playoffs. With a team that they, I would say, probably comfortably beat when they last played them. And they should have gained wisdom. They should have gained she should have got better. They didn't. And the way he's looking at it is, did us losing that last game really have an effect? And it had a mental effect because the mental part of this game is massive, guys. It is. We would talk about it when we were going, well, we've mentally already beaten the Cowboys. It didn't fucking affect them. We mentally beat them, but they fucking kicked the shit out of us. So I get where you're coming from, and you're technically not wrong, because I'd never say anyone's wrong for the philosophy that you're having. It's just, there's your way versus my way. There's my way versus AJ's way, and there's no right way to deal with it. It's just your way. You'll always have criticism either way. You rest everyone, you'll get criticism if you lose.
Exactly.
You don't rest everyone, you'll get criticism when you lose.
So we'll see what happens, and guys, we will be back because we got to talk about this preview coming up because it's right around the corner, guys. Christmas already was here, and look, Jim. See again, this is why we want Slick to be our intern coach. Great point. He's dropping dimes here. He's dropping knowledge. But again, guys, please go and check out the video on It's About Buck and Time for Coach Slick. It's called "Give Coach Slick an Opportunity." He just gave you all that you need to know to be a coach. And guys, thank you again for watching the Aftermath on 102.9 Game Broad Street South Radio. And again, check me out when It's About Buck and Time. And also go to my Instagram page, AJ Turnup. Go check out the website, get you some nice gear. I have my motto, turn up, respect the process, and turn up in style. But with that being said, you guys have a good night. And as always, go Bucs. Let's go. See you later on, Slick. Take care, my man.
Look out, man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Okay, guys, that's pretty much the end of the show, and I hope you've had a good one. Hope you've enjoyed your holidays. We just say Christmas over here because we have very few minorities in this of other religions in this country. So we're densely populated by the Christian religion, and even though I'm atheist, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. So we always just say, "Do you have a good Christmas?" Regardless, you guys are more the holiday thing, right? So here we go. Buccaneers, big game, massive game. If you win this one, you get to rub that fucking salt in Saints' wounds. You get to celebrate, hat in a t-shirt game, and you guarantee yourself the playoffs. So if you do want to go down like a Jim Melvin point of wanting to save your place, you can. You can. If you wanted to be a little bit more cautious, a little bit more like, I want to keep my team up, you can do that. Of course, you will. If a member of your starting crew gets injured, there'll be criticism. But criticism is there all the time. It's not going away. Because if you do the same thing and you go into that game and you lay an egg and you get your ass fucking beat, people will turn around to you and say, "Why the fuck did we go to the playoffs when we were going to do that?" Thing is, you just got to have a chance, go out there to prove that you can win. It's that simple. That's all you got to do. That's what this team wants. And I don't think any player worth their salt would want to be taken out. All these guys, you did, and you're not wrong, Jim. You're generally not wrong. Like I said, there's your way, there's my way, there's someone else's way. Someone might want to play them to a certain point and then take them out. Others want to say, "Fuck it, we'll just play the whole fucking game." And some people are like, "I'm not even fucking starting these guys." I get it. But the loss, if you lose, it can mentally set you back a little bit. Sometimes it can. And I think Coach Bowles wants to see what happens if he keeps the boys in and then maybe takes them out when the game's at hand and he's done his business and he can take them out and it doesn't matter. That's when I think he wants to see what that looks like. What does a win look like? And I go into the next game. And he rightfully should have a look at that because that's an experience in itself. You get to experience doing that thought process, right? Done it once, it backfired. Maybe he sat there going, "We should have done this." And maybe players come to him and go, "Dude, this is what we didn't like being taken out. We wanted to go win that game. We needed to win that game because we became a bit of a laughing stock because we were at 8-9, right? We're 8-9. We deserve to be 9-8, and we know we deserve to be 9-8 because we feel that if we played that game, we'd have done it." So I think Coach Bowles wants to give the players. He's a players coach. Wants to give the players the opportunity to go get what they want. Callisto says, "Where are you, coach?" At Slick, so I may check it out. I coach in the UK. I'm a assistant defensive coordinator for the Sandwell Steelers. We're about to go into our preseason in not next week, the week after. So 8th of Jan is 7th of Jan, I believe, is our first preseason, and then we'll start gearing up for our season, which starts in April. And we're looking to get rings this year. It's a championship year. We're looking for 2. It's the number of championships this team is aspired to. So they won one national championship way back when. I think it was 2004 2015, 2014. We're going for us. We're looking to go for a second one. So our process is find a way to achieve 2. 2 is our big word. It's what everything we're encompassing, and what we're about. And I'll throughout the series of this, I will be trying to do this stuff. So yeah, go check us out with the Sandwell Steelers. Steel part of the steel. The area is kind of like steel merchants, very similar to Pittsburgh in itself. A steel city, and yeah, we're ready to fucking rock and roll. We got a lot of fun to be had. Last season didn't go our way. This season, it's kill or be killed. We're looking to do the killing. So guys, without further ado, much appreciated for everyone for commenting. Sorry if we don't get through the comments as much. We do try. When we got an extra guest on, it does make it a bit more difficult unless they're just hitting their comment as we're talking about the thing they want to talk about. Because sometimes guys will throw in a comment and it's got nothing to do what we're talking about or has less relevance. So we kind of miss it because it's not relevant, and then we try and spin it back in if we can. But guys, much appreciated. Bucs on me, Bucs on free. 1, 2, 3, go Bucs.